that beauty. That thing is beautiful. So the 12 pin just goes in through there. Comes with an adapter. I actually got the Corsair 12 to 2/8. Let's go into the rig. I'm not changing it. All right. Now that we've done the unboxing, just show you this build. Completely dark in my kitchen. So give you a good look at how well lit this thing is and how aesthetically clean it is, in my opinion. Really loving the nice white LED touch of the GeForce RTX for this Founders card. Really wish they would have implemented that with the RTX 3080 Ti logo there. I think that would have set it off so much. Love how the fact that this fan doesn't start spinning until the car gets under load. You've got an M.2 Gen 4 Samsung 980 drive inserted there. There's one below too. But as I said, it is completely dark in here and I wanted to show it to you this way. This case build is in the Corsair 5000D. I did a brief review on this. I might have to revisit and have some better talking points on this in the future. But man, I just think this thing is so clean and it performs so well. So this eye candy is just going to lead into my talking points in the discussion part of this video. If you got any questions about this build though, please, or any of the components that's used here, let me know. All right, welcome back to the channel. For the sake of eye candy, I'm gonna keep this PC on, man. I really enjoy this thing. I think it looks really attractive. And like I said, if you have any questions about how this thing is running or any of the components, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer those questions. Check it out, man. I'm gonna try to make this video as light as possible. I just wanna have some talking points in a conversation with all my brotherhood out there that's into PC gaming, and talk to you guys about the struggles that people go through with trying to get themselves one of these graphics cards, man. This is an RTX 3080 Ti Founders Edition. It's an attractive card. And let me tell you, I already am a multiple 30 series graphics card owner. I have had all the way from 3080 or 3090 in my hands to 3060 Ti and everything in between. Some of them multiple. I'm not a miner and I'm not a person that looks to resell products when I buy products. I actually use my stuff in real time. 90% of the time, I will use my stuff to game. I like to game in 4K. I like to game in 4K at 120 frames per second if I can. I like to play single player games. I'm not young anymore. I don't really care about competitively playing people in a lot of games. I'll get my times and my moments when I'm just like, hey, I'm itching to compete. But for the most part, you know, when I play a video game, I just want to experience the story, the characters, and the hard work that the developers went and put into making the game. But most importantly, the technology side of me that just loves the greatest and the latest stuff that you can get your hands on. When I play a game, I want that game to play smooth and look great. So you got to get something like this. You got to invest and get a graphics card that's going to be able to keep up with that. What I don't want you to do is to get thirsty, so thirsty to the point where you're making bad investments and to just diminish your returns, right? So the biggest thing that you should be considering if you're thinking about upgrading a GPU, now you can be planning on paying retail costs for this card was $1,200, which is exactly what the last generation, the 2080 Ti cost retail. So that's amazing value because the performance is like night and day. Literally it is. At the capacity that I use it at. I play in 4K max settings. I try to at least. So jumping from last generation to this generation for me made a big amount of sense. But what I have right here is a 32-inch LG manufactured gaming monitor. This resolution is QHD, so 2560 by 1440. And this can refresh if overclocked at 165 hertz. Keep it down at 144 or 120, because 120 is a nice sweet spot in my personal opinion. When coming from, for this particular build, an RTX 2080 Super, you will see some areas of opportunity trying to play a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, max settings, with all the textures turned on, just experiencing the game playing beautifully. You'll see some hiccups with that graphics card. So going to a 30 series makes sense because of the monitor. Now, what happens is you get a lot of people that don't really invest in this, but they invest in that card. There's the diminish of return. If you're playing games like Counter-Strike or whatever esports titles that you might be playing, maybe Dota, League of Legends, World of Warcraft, you know, most people can get away with technology that's sometimes 2 generations old because of the display that they're using. If you haven't made an upgrade to the display to get better graphical fidelity, to get more frame rates and refresh rate hertz numbers that are increased, then do you really need to invest the reseller's price or even the retail price that's being asked from some of the board partners of these graphics cards? Keeping in mind, the founders' cards are locked at one price. An RTX 3070 is about $500. 3080 is $700. 3080 Ti is $1,200. It's when you go to your Asus, your MSI, your Gigabit, your PNY cards where they are charging $200 to $400 more than the retail standard cost of the Founders Edition components or counterparts. That's where you got to really look into it. And so then obviously your reselling market is even higher and more ridiculous. It's frustrating, man, because I'm a gamer and at heart, you know, I really feel for people that just want to play games. They want to get their hands on these cards so that they can enjoy the technology like the monitors that you need to be able to take advantage of, right? But it's so tough, man, especially when you try to educate people and you try to get them in the right direction to tell them what they should be looking for. Sometimes they don't listen. But for me, I have found a comfortable space in just enjoying what I have until I really feel it's time for me to upgrade. Now, like I said in the beginning of this portion of the video, I do rock a 3090. On my desk, I have a 4K monitor that has a native G-Sync panel module, and it is 144 hertz. And I've had that monitor since the 20 series. That monitor is paired up with an RTX 3090 because I like to try to play as close as I can at max settings. The processor in my main computer is a Ryzen 9 5000 series. It's a no compromise build. The only thing I'm missing is just doing straight water cooling, which I just don't care for. But it's almost a no compromise build, that being minus out of the equation. But it's because I got that card in that processor to give me the most out of that monitor. I spent big on the monitor years ago, and I later upgraded the graphics card and the processor to match that. I did not go the opposite way. You'll have some people that will spend retailers' dollar for this, which is about $2,000. I've seen these cards go as high as $2,500, and people have paid it, only to be using a monitor that's 1080p at 144 hertz. That's the ridiculousness to me. But to each its own. I just wanted to put some talking points out there, man. You know, wonder what you guys thinking about this. If you're having a hard time getting, you know, this kind of product. I know the world is still going through the pandemic and the chip shortage and all of those different things can make it frustrating. But just because you want it really bad, man, you just got to sit down sometimes and just make a more educated decision. So that's all I got, man, for this week's video. This thing is beautiful. Till next time, max love.